Hey everybody, we're back with Off the Highway. I'm Tony Kriz, and that is Frank Schaeffer. Frank, you've got your new book, Why I'm an Atheist Who Believes in God, How to Give Love, Create Beauty, and Find Peace. Frank, I read your writings, I post your writings on a regular basis, and inevitably I get comments anytime I post your stuff on my Facebook
Sure.
page or around. No, it's all right. And one of the things that I hear often, I just want to ask you directly. Why is it that you hate evangelicals?
Well, that's not the word I would use. I do not hate evangelicals. I come from an evangelical background. My father was a well-known evangelical theologian, and along with my mother, Edith Schaeffer, Francis and Edith Schaeffer founded a ministry called L'Abri Fellowship where I grew up. Where, by the way, when I was 17 and 18, as I mentioned in other discussions with you, I got my wife, Jeannie, pregnant. She wasn't my wife then. And instead of the community that was very fundamentalist in its theology, tossing us out or lecturing us, they embraced us with great empathy and compassion. That was an evangelical community. And I would just say, thank God for the blessed hypocrisy of not just my parents, but so many evangelicals who, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, are far better people than their theology, if you take the theology as literally as they say they do. So, my relationship with the evangelical community is sort of like Jesus with the Jews and the theology of his own day. I don't think Jesus hated the Jewish community he was in, and I don't think that he hated the Torah and the law and the Bible. But he always used that word, but, B-U-T. He would say, the law says, but here's what I'm telling you. And that, for me, opens a door to being able to question. And that opens a door for me to be able to say, look, it's not a question about Bible believing as I was raised. I mean, that's a very odd thing. What are you? I'm a Bible believer or a Bible believing Christian. How about a Jesus follower? How about a God believer? So, Jesus is confronted with this when he talks to the Samaritan woman, and even she knows better. She says to him, you shouldn't be talking to me. Wrong theology. I don't believe right. I'm a different tribe. We're enemies. He says, you know what? This stuff doesn't matter anymore. The day is coming when it's all about worshiping God in truth and in spirit instead of theology and tribe and correct ideas. So my quibble with the evangelical community is not a personal one. In fact, if anybody reads this book, Why I'm an Atheist Who Believes in God, I have opportunity there, as I've had in some of my other books, like my memoir, Crazy for God. And by the way, in a new book I'm working on right now, talking about my grandchildren, to thank again and again and again my parents for introducing me to art and to culture and to music and for being so loving when I stumbled. That's been my relationship. However, having said that, one of the things this book has generated a lot of is email from people who say, thank you for telling my story. Now I feel less alone because I'm so ostracized from the evangelical community. I came out as gay and now nobody will talk to me in my family. Or I lost my faith and I've been wandering out here with nothing, and your book has given me something. So I don't think there's any benefit in a kind of a token loyalty to the evangelical establishment when it tends to have been run by outfits like Christianity Today magazine and other big conglomerates that I think are quite self-interested in maintaining a status quo at the expense of individuals who are much more conflicted and need a lot more tender loving care than they get from that kind of approach. So my argument with evangelicalism is just that. My argument is not with evangelicals as individuals, but I think the movement as a movement has, if I can be blunt, and if this is hating evangelicalism, so be it. But I think the movement as a movement has even betrayed itself. So even if you took the evangelical argument seriously and said, okay, this is what I'm trying to believe, it has been betrayed by the business aspect, by the empire building, and above all by what I think really one has to say, and that is that it's become a series of personality cults built around individuals who build these little miniature empires. And really, if this is Christianity, we've got a big problem. So, yeah, I have a lot of arguments, and the book makes that clear, and I hope I offer compassionate and better alternatives. But I think hate would not be the word I would use.
Frankie, your new book, Why I'm an Atheist Who Believes in God, I found to be thought-provoking and very much soul-stimulating. So I would just encourage anyone to go out and get it. Thanks so much for your time, Frank.
Thank you.